What's up, guys? Welcome back to Movies and Brews. This week, after a very long wait, we're finally reviewing The People vs. O.J. Simpson. So let's get to it. Okay, so The People vs. O.J. Simpson is part of American Crime Story, which is a spin-off series from the writers of American Horror Story, which I'm a big fan of. So when I heard that Ryan Murphy, the writer for that show, was going to be writing a true crime series, I didn't even know what the plot was yet. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm on board. And they announced it was going to be The People vs. O.J. Simpson, and I automatically got excited because while I was very, very young while this trial was going on, we've grown up over the past 20 years or so just knowing everything about this trial. This is the most documented trial of all time, and I was very excited to see it come to the small screen. The first thing I love about this show is that it gives you a very clear, unbiased opinion. It gives you just the facts from both sides. I could watch the very same show with a person, and we could come out of that show having two totally different opinions. It doesn't paint the picture as OJ was guilty, OJ was not guilty. It just gives you the facts, and I fucking love that. And it was just very cool to see how they gave a totally unbiased opinion, and that's a very uncommon thing with true stories nowadays. Whenever there's like a particular writer or director on a thing, they like to give their opinion, their agenda on it, and this show absolutely has no agenda. It just gives you the facts and treats you like you're an intelligent being and lets you decide for yourself. So I thought that was very cool. Another really great thing about the show is that it was historically accurate. I did some research while I was watching the series. I would go back and just fact check a couple things, and for the most part, besides the dialogue and like a couple little things here and there, the show is about 95% accurate to what actually happened. The courtroom scenes are basically taken right off the television and remade. Everything was great. Even the cast looks exactly like the real life characters. Marsha Clark looks exactly the same. Sarah Paulson gives an awesome performance. She's like the shining star of this fucking show. The entire cast just killed it. The weakest one of the bunch, and not to say that he gave a bad performance, but just the one that I thought could have been a little bit better was O.J. Simpson himself, who's played by Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. is a great actor, besides Snow Dogs, but we're not going to talk about that. Cuba Gooding Jr. did a fine job as O.J. Simpson, but he doesn't have the look of O.J. Simpson, which this show thrived on recreating these characters. They put a pound of makeup on John Travolta's face to look him like Robert Shapiro, and then they cast Cuba Gooding Jr., who's about half the size of the real O.J. Simpson. So that just kind of irked me a little bit. That's a minor irk at best. So the cast absolutely killed it on the show. They were the driving force behind the show, and it keeps you hooked the entire fucking time. Getting on to my favorite part about this show is the ending of any television show, like the big finale at the end of every season, is arguably the biggest spoiler of that season. You know, you don't give away the ending to something. The best part about the show is, from the very first episode, you know how it ends. You know that O.J. Simpson was found not guilty. You know how the story goes, you know every single bit of it. But yet, from the very first episode to the very last episode, you can't stop watching the show. You want to know even more about what happened, even though you already know what's going to happen. And I have to give this show props for that, because if you go into a movie and you already know what the ending is, you're not going to be that interested in it anymore. But going into the show, you know that O.J. Simpson is found not guilty in the end, and you're still like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, you're on the edge of your seat the entire time. The show did such a good job at getting you interested in something that you already know about, and I didn't even think that was possible. So at the end of the season, did I enjoy O.J. Simpson? Abso-fucking-lutely. The show was great. Every single episode was awesome. There wasn't one episode that was flatter than the previous one, or the latter episode. Every single episode of this season just kept you absolutely hooked and on the edge of your seat. I was waiting every single Tuesday at 10 o'clock for this fucking show to start. I didn't miss a second of it, and I loved every single second of it. So what do I rate The People vs. O.J. Simpson? I have to give it a top shelf, which is my first top shelf in a while, I might add. This show is probably one of the best shows I've seen in the past couple years, besides Breaking Bad. Put it to you like that. And Breaking Bad is like a fucking awesome show. So have you seen The People vs. O.J. Simpson? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Is it somewhere in the middle for you? Comment. Let me know. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Come back in like 2 days after you're done binging, and then let me know what you thought. And tune in next week for another episode of Movies and Brews. Cheers.